But you said that they're trying to separate us, and I think that that's actually been what you've been attempting to do. You do it often, actually, and you have some visceral energy about perceived high value men, and respect. If you have your outlook on the world and you believe all women that you're capable of acquiring are trash, that's great. But I don't think that that's fair to just you blanket it across the board, accusing one person of trying to separate us while you actually do it, separating us. You have embodied this approach to where your experience is all experience. You are truth. You said it several times. I disagree with you. I think that you perform well in your region and your ability, and then you come at the men who may outpace you in almost every metric that matters, and then try to depict us and say that we depended on the white man, but then simultaneously will admit that your very existence and upbringing was supported by the white man.
It's not. When I come up here and I speak about this shit, and when y'all hearing y'all conversations, y'all need to learn the motherfucking truth. Yeah, my dick hard, but when it comes down to telling y'all the truth, I'm gonna tell you the truth real quick. Especially when you saying some bullshit. These women up here having all of these requirements. How women, they got all these body counts, all of these kids, and she talking about it wasn't for her mama, she will speak. Who the fuck you think you is? You better learn to speak to men in a correctable way, because if you do it on the street, you're gonna get hurt.
Okay, so if you land.
But no, hold on. But what I'm saying is, these type of women is the women that's teaching. One thing I learned about women, they pass down failure advice to their daughters. So her mama failed. That's why her daddy, she didn't say her daddy was involved. How did I know that he wasn't involved? Because the way she talked, I know her mama was a piece of shit. And she passed down the same shit to her, and she gonna pass that same shit down to her daughter. The thing is, they don't have no respect for you. They don't have no respect for you because of who out the bell. All I'm trying to say is, it's a losing battle. Stop trying to get these women approval. Who the fuck is them? What is Miss Pearl and Bodine gonna really offer you? Outside of their fertilities is long gone. It's history.
Jay Prince, I don't even know you. You don't know me. I've never disrespected you on the panel. You don't know my history. Why would you even throw me in there?
No, but what I'm saying is, you don't really got much to offer.
You don't know me to tell me what I have to offer.
Okay, what do I mean? Let's have this conversation. What do I mean by offer?
Podcast. You don't know me. That's like you a goofy.
What do I mean by
value as a man?
So let's have the conversation.
I don't mean me with the disrespect. No. Let's double back.
It's not disrespectful.
I'm gonna let the niggas argue, but this is my thing, right? One thing that I do want to point out is that if me and DJ have a conversation offline about offline shit or online shit, I'm never going to reference that conversation online when it was had in privacy, when it was had in confidence. That is something that I've learned a lot of internet people do. And it's unfortunate because that's definitely something that I was taught that women do. I'm not going to ever use something that you come to me about in privacy and then use that to attack you or sell your character online because you came to me in privacy. We had a private conversation between me and you, not between, and now that I want to come and just use it against you, I'm going to do it when we got 450 people watching. That was probably some of the most egregious shit I've seen a man do.
Especially not in this full context.
Okay.
Then on top of that,
let him finish.
And then if the man, I like some of the, obviously we know I don't agree with a lot of what Jay Prince said, but there were some things that we said he had a bar for. When bro said that if the only used thing in your house is your bitch, that's a problem. That went over a lot of y'all's heads because of who it's coming from, right? And I give him that. I gotta, give credit where it's due. That was real because again, a lot of women do think that they are entitled to all of these types of men who can do all of these things and go get all of these different women, but think that they are owed his choice. So I get it, and I think it's where he was going with it. But aside from that, y'all please continue.
So
hold on. True next, y'all. Go ahead, True.
Yeah, I'll give you credit for that, Jay Prince. I even said it in the back chat that you were actually saying some things that came across and landed. I think where you lost me, because you got this energy, especially for the women on this panel. I don't know why personally, but you said that they're trying to separate us, and I think that that's actually been what you've been attempting to do. You do it often, actually, and you have some visceral energy about perceived high value men. And respect, if you have your outlook on the world and you believe all women that you're capable of acquiring are trash, that's great. But I don't think that that's fair to just you blanket it across the board, accusing one person of trying to separate us while you actually do it, separating us. You have embodied this approach to where your experience is all experience. You are truth. You said it several times. I disagree with you. I think that you perform well in your region and your ability, and then you come at the men who may outpace you in almost every metric that matters, and then try to depict us and say that we depended on the white man, but then simultaneously will admit that your very existence and upbringing was supported by the white man. So it's very conflating and conflicting, and I don't think it is fair for you to hold people accountable for something you're actually doing.
Yeah, I learned it from women to divide and conquer men, right? I've been acknowledged that I was raised up under a feminine foundation. So these tactics that I use, I learned it from women. As you can see, both did it all. Like what they would do is when all the men is on one accord. So what they do is they say, well, True Table is an easy man to talk to. But then they say JP or philosophical is, I don't respect him. So basically, in real life, this stuff happens in real life. And what tends to happen? Men end up shot, dead, or in prison because of a woman will come around. But this not a type of woman that's worth dying for. She don't have that look. You know the type of woman we usually would risk our life for, right? She's aspired milk. Most women is like milk. They does a body good. They does a body good until they get old, right? And when you look at these old ass women, only thing she got is bittersweet, and she jealous of her daughters and nieces and shit like that. So only thing I'm saying is there is a difference between niggas and black men. Black men, you are butlers. You work for the government, although I use the government. I manipulate the government just like the white man manipulate you black men like slaves, right? The white man didn't have no problem with using black men to build this country, to build his wealth, but he don't respect you. He don't look at you like you one of him because you know how to speak his language properly. You are the embodiment of the white man's language. When I look at True Take, I'm about to talk to you, and there's no disrespect at all because I mess with you. But when I listen to you, I listen to a man who's highly educated, right? And it does something to me that a black man, knowing how the education system has been feminine, so the women could be able to learn. So the education system that we have received has been yielded around a feminine structure. And by you sitting up there, you know how to speak his language. You can tell you read all of his pimping, right? And you have been in his pimping books. You read a lot of books. You read all his language. To me, I think black men who willing to accept that white man's education is gay. I believe if you brag on you got a high school diploma, you got a degree, you need a white man's dick print to step your IQ level to make you feel smart. If the white man don't sign on that paper and say you smart, guess what? You're going to sit up here and feel doubt of yourself because you need that white man approval. And this is how majority of the butlers operate. If you don't got a good paying job, if you don't got no good career, if you don't live in a white good community, if you can't speak proper English and woo out the bam, guess what they call you? They call you JP, a degenerate, a pookie, a loser, and woo out the bam because y'all qualifications, I'll end with this. You are being quantified. You are being you qualify yourself based on a Eurocentric understanding. You don't have your own understanding.
Well, I think.
Okay, so wait a minute. JR, I think it's very disrespectful for a man to straight out disrespect me and address me before he addressed anybody. And then we play this musical chair, and then so we forget about what he said, how he said it, and when he said it. I think it's fair for me to be able to address some of the things he tried to address me of, and Willie. Under normal circumstances, I will agree along with you about, but you got to understand the situation. The situation is me and Jay Prince has a history of how we conduct ourselves on these panels. And so we have always discussed these type of things, conversation behind, and bring that conversation forward. Conversation we have had behind, we bring it forward. How we conduct ourselves. He might ask me something, I might ask him something. But when we have private things that we talk about, anything private, that's never brought to the front. But I'm talking about, that's why you have to understand there's unique situations when we say things or how we say things. It's not me calling him out. These things that I said earlier were things that he did on the panel. On a panel when he came out and said these things about black men are weak and butlers, just like what he just said right there. And I understand you want to burn the candle on both sides, but sooner or later it'll have to meet in the middle somewhere. So what I'm saying, I never disrespect Jay Prince, never called him an N-word or whatever. I just don't roll like that. And that's to everybody. Now let's get this thing about Bo. Bo, when I first met her on these panels, I disagreed with most of everything, and I thought she just was an angry woman and everything else. I seen a brother come up here and talk on the channel, and I seen the soft side of her, and he was saying some of the same thing that some of the brothers on the channel had been telling her. But she received it how he laid out the message. And so from that time, I started super checking, saying, Bo, you know what? You're changing me now, because I'm starting to understand you. You do have a soft side. But there's just certain quality and certain qualities of men who can bring the best out of the worst person. And if you don't believe that, then you don't know the history of Malcolm X. If you don't believe that. So what I'm trying to tell you, number one is, Jay Prince, I have nothing disrespect or try to belittle you ever on a channel. And I was amazed how you came at me by calling me the N-word. I don't give a fuck and all that. I have never talked to you like that, brother.
I did feel disrespectful.
What you feeling disrespectful and not knowing the whole history, how we have always moved on these panels. Even when I disagree with you or agree with you, I've always came on the channel. There's nothing secretly that I told that we had a phone call that we don't discuss on these panels. When we do discuss, and you know that, there's only about two things. And we know that is a private conversation. But when we are talking about how you was going to run your channels. Okay. When you was talking about how you going to run your channels and stuff like that, that's open forum, even though we are having a conversation. All right. Well, I do apologize for rolling over time.
Just so you know, OG, it did sound like you just called Bo the worst person after
he said bring the best out of the worst.
No. I'm sorry, Bo. If you took it that way, I do apologize. I didn't mean it that way. You know I didn't mean it that way.
Everybody tonight.
So let me respond to. I don't want to go back and forth with the other stuff. I don't want to go back and forth with the other stuff. I just the reason why I felt that way, OG, because you've been hanging with the ops.